Hi, second grade. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is staying safe. Mr. Moore wanted to keep working with everyone on time. So one of the biggest things that we need to know when dealing with time is what are AM and PM and what the difference between them are. These are really, really super important when dealing with time and telling time. So one of the things that we've always might have wondered is what AM and PM mean, or what do they stand for? So AM and PM are very fancy ooh la la words, or the Latin terms for antemeridian, AM, and postmeridian, PM. But we don't need to know these really fancy terms, but we need to know what AM and PM are and why do we need to use them when telling time. So they are important because they tell us what part of the day it is. If it tells us if it's at night or if it's in the morning, what part of the day it is. So a lot of times when we're looking at a clock and we are starting to learn how to read clocks, so this one here says 7 o'clock. Well, AM and PM can tell me if it's in the morning or if it's like 7 in the morning or if it's 7 at night. So AM and PM tell us what part of the day it is, if it's nighttime or if it's daytime. So that's why they're really, really super important. So we already know that there are 24 hours in a day. So here in America and in several other countries, they have split those 24 hours into two 12-hour periods. So the first 12-hour period is called AM, and then the second 12-hour period is called PM. So up here, I put together a number line. So we're starting at 12, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then until we're back to 12 again. So that first 12-hour period, as we said, is called AM. So this 12, we're switching to the second 12-hour period. So again, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that second 12-hour period is called PM. So this 12 here in the middle of the day, we call that noon. And noon is usually telling us that we're switching over from AM, the first 12-hour period, to the second 12-hour period, PM. So right here, I made a fancy clock. So this clock's a little bit different. So this clock is going to start 12, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then it's going to go again here 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's showing our two 12-hour periods. So our first 12-hour period, as we said, is AM. And then our second is PM. And remember, our clock is still going to be going clockwise. So it's still going to be rotating this way. So we're going to start up here at the top. This top is usually 12. That's 12 midnight. So when we usually write midnight, we write it as 12 a.m. So this 12 a.m., this midnight, it means we're in our first 12-hour period. So we're here, and I always like to think of a.m. as after midnight. So we hit 12, it turns in, that's midnight, and then we start going into our 12-hour period, our a.m., which is our after midnight. So we have 1 o'clock, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and this is usually a time where you are sleeping. You're sleeping in the morning. And then usually about 7, that is when I wake up. That might be when you wake up. 7 a.m., you're starting to wake up. 8 a.m., maybe you're getting ready for school. You're about to go to school. 9 a.m., you're at school. 10 a.m., we're learning. 11 a.m., we're learning. And then we hit our 12. We hit our bottom here. And then we're switching over to our next 12-hour period. And this bottom is where we're switching over, and that's called noon again. So noon, we write that 12:00, but now we're going into PM. So noon is 12 o'clock PM. And noon is usually when, here in America, is usually when we have our lunch. we usually have lunch around noon or at 12 p.m. So we have 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is usually when you get out of school. 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. 6 and 7 p.m. is usually when people have dinner. And then 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and then 11 p.m. That's usually when you're going to go back to bed. That's usually your bedtime. That's usually when it's nighttime. And then we go back to 12, and we switch over to a.m. again. So it just keeps going in a continuous cycle. So remember, midnight is going to be 12 a.m., and then noon is going to be 12 p.m. because it's switching over. That's why I put the 12s on certain sides. So this midnight 12 is in the a.m., and our noon 12 is going to be in the p.m. I hope this is helpful, and you'll start to get it as you keep working with it. But that is why a.m. and p.m. are very important, because they tell us what part of the day it is. If I'm trying to eat breakfast, I wouldn't say I'm eating breakfast at 7 p.m. That's my dinner time. I have to say I'm eating breakfast at 7 a.m. So they help you distinguish what part of the day it is. If it's in the morning or in the afternoon, that's why a.m. and p.m. are very important, and that's why we need to know them. So during these activities, you're going to see some things, and you got to tell me if it's going to be in the morning or in the afternoon. If it's going to be in the a.m. or in the p.m. All right, I hope this was helpful.